One of the things we want to really talk about when we're thinking about the mask wearing is our immediate assumptions that we have when we see somebody who's not wearing a mask. If you are in the mask camp and you're dedicated to wearing it and you see someone else who doesn't have one on, I think the immediate reaction is very defensive and maybe angry. We might make assumptions about why that person isn't wearing the mask, or attribute things to them that they might not intend. So it's really good to approach somebody with curiosity and to ask, in a non-defensive way, just, hey, can you help me understand why you're not wearing a mask today? Or even just to prompt them to see if perhaps they forgot one. One of the other things I would encourage people to do is when they're talking about wearing a mask is to try to use I statements to explain their point of view. So when we're thinking about how we feel about the person not wearing a mask, it's probably a good idea to start in with, I am concerned about you not wearing a mask, or I don't feel comfortable when you're not wearing one, rather than coming at a person from a place of, you're not wearing a mask, that means this, this, and this about you. When we approach somebody with you, that often feels very threatening and can make someone feel very defensive. We really want to be mindful of what our body language looks like. When we might be standing too close to someone, or our posture is very closed off, shoulders are shrugged or arms are crossed, it makes us appear less open. And it can also be kind of intimidating. So it's good to consider what your posture looks like, to relax your shoulders, drop your arms, keep open body language between you and someone else. And conversely, if it seems like they are too close to you, it's perfectly okay to ask them to have a little extra space. Just that physical proximity alone right now can feel very threatening. We want to consider our tone of voice when we're speaking to someone, because inherently when we start to feel upset or agitated, we get louder. And that's probably because we want to feel heard, or just because of the emotion surrounding it. So it's really good to try to keep a low and consistent volume when you're speaking to someone else. Even if they're yelling at you, if you have a quieter tone, it will often prompt them to be a little quieter themselves, and also maybe to be just a little quieter so that they can hear you more easily. It's good to find out what they know or what they don't know. When you get that better understanding about why they're doing a specific behavior or what their intentions are, then we can look for opportunities to appropriately educate. So that could be, asking someone, and maybe they tell you, I don't wear a mask because I think it's harmful for my body. So then perhaps you can ask them, hey, would you be interested in reading an article or viewing a particular video? It's helpful too to think about who that person respects, especially if it's someone that whether it's a certain political figure or a person in the media, and then perhaps find information that comes from a source that they trust, because they will be more likely to receive and consider that information if it's from someone that they respect. When we hit barriers and perhaps our communication isn't going the way that we want it to, it is okay to walk away. And that involves not only reading the situation and the person that you're speaking to, but also considering your own emotions and how you're responding. So if you find that you're getting too animated or upset, it's okay just to let them know, hey, I think I need to stop here. If it's someone you don't know, it's easy usually to just say, have a good day, I'll see you later. If it is a family member, it's okay to stop and say, can we come back to this later? Let's each take a little bit of time to breathe and kind of think about what we want to say. In those difficult moments, one option for de-escalating a situation would be to try to pull out the emotion that the other person might be experiencing. This is a great way to validate someone's feelings. And oftentimes when we can just label and validate the emotion, they feel heard. And that is really helpful to pull some of the strain off of what we're experiencing. So if I say to somebody, it seems like you're feeling really anxious about this, is that right? That also gives them the opportunity to correct me if it's not the correct emotion. Worst case scenario, try to look for an alternative solution. So it would be helpful, if you've got someone who is just flat out refusing to wear a mask and they're not going to do it, and that is what it is, help them problem solve a little bit in terms of getting whatever it is that they need done. So if they're trying to go into a store, it might be asking them if they're willing to accept a mask from an employee, if there's someone else who might be able to go out and do that shopping for them. or even to think about some of the online options or grocery delivery services that may be able to still help them get what they need, but avoid having any further confrontation.